Welcome to week 3. I hope you all are doing well. I want to focus in on a particular area of content for week 3, which in general, module 3 will focus on program development. And this is timely because you're developing your part 1 draft proposals this week. So this session will cover the various steps of developing a proposal and specific concepts, goals, objectives, and logic models. And so I want to spend a little bit of time on developing goals and objectives. And the reason is I generally give a lot of feedback in this area for the first draft, part 1 drafts. And so I hope this video is helpful, and you have content in module 3 that'll walk you through developing goals and objectives, thinking through a logic model. And if you do these exercises of developing them in advance of writing your proposal, it'll make the process much easier. So as you may already suspect or know, goals are targets or accomplishments that you would desire to achieve. And you have to be able to distinctly identify the problem, and the goals are designed as solutions to that problem. And then objectives are benchmarks in order for you to ultimately get to that goal. So in order to have a objective that is reliable and helps you achieve success, there is an acronym which you may or may not be familiar with called SMART. And S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for time-bound. And the couple letters that I want to hone in on are measurable and time-bound. And this is where students in their drafts sometimes miss this, and I give them feedback, which I will do for all of you as well. But if your program is to increase the capacity of your organization to provide a specific kind of training to your clients, and so maybe you want to hire a professional trainer or trainer curriculum, and then train every staff in, I'm just going to say, maybe it's trauma-informed care training. Then your specific goal might be around how many training sessions you seek to have and how many staff you seek to have be trained in a particular time period. So let's say, for example, you have an organization has 60 employees. And so your goal would be to have all or 100% of employees trained in a single calendar year, so in 12 months. That is a measurable goal. We know that we want to train 60 people, and it's time bound. You want to do it in 12 months. Isn't attainable or realistic. That's something to take into consideration. It depends on how often you plan to hold the training sessions and how expensive it would be to do all of that training in a year. You may want to split your goal up to say that you'd have 50% of employees trained in year 1 and the other 50% trained in year 2. And so going through that process of setting a goal, reflecting on that, thinking through the objectives, making sure that they are specific to the goal that you're trying to achieve, that they're measurable in some way, that I would be able to look and see, what are you trying to achieve? And you would be able to look back and say, did I achieve that metric? That your objective is attainable and realistic, that it's relevant to what you're trying to accomplish, and that it has a period of time associated with it, whether that is every quarter you're going to look back and assess. It could be on an annual basis, but you do want to ensure that you have time associated with your objectives. And then there's also 4 different kinds of objectives that I quickly want to go over. And then I'll leave the rest of the material for you to review. And again, feel free to ask me questions as they come up. but there's four kinds of objectives. There's impact objectives. If you were going to be launching a new training program to train your employees in trauma-informed service delivery, the impact objective would be that the impact on your clients would be X, Y, and Z. That maybe you would the organization would be receiving less complaints, or they would be the feedback from clients would be that there's been a change in the way employees are interacting with them and managing some of the trauma that clients experience. So those are impact objectives. You're thinking about the impact that meeting this goal would have. Service objectives or outputs are about the activities and the processes. So either the number of activities, so providing 6 trainings per week, is an example of a number of activities or a number of services provided. Operational objectives are related to any improvements you're seeking to make to the general operations of the organization. So recruiting more volunteers, increasing the number of dollars that you're applying for through grants are examples of operational objectives, and you would want to set a specific, timely, measurable goal. Maybe you want to increase the number of volunteers that sign up to help your organization by, an additional 20 volunteers per quarter. Might be a good goal to set. And lastly, product objectives or deliverables are tangible things or outcomes that are created to benefit the clients. So maybe you are creating a training manual for a train the trainer program that your clients can use, and setting a specific time-bound goal and an objective to achieve that training manual or create it would be appropriate. Or a policy brief that would be distributed to city council members and the public and other stakeholders would be an example of a product objective. So impact objectives, service objectives, operational objectives, product objectives, they're all appropriate, and it is to your benefit to know the difference. And that way, when you start to think through the objectives that you're going to be trying to achieve and benchmarking yourself by in the part 1 draft of your proposal, you'll have this information to lean in on and use. And so there is a full PowerPoint deck on goals, objectives, and logic models that'll be included in your Module 3, as well as additional resources at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia that provide some information about logic models, goals, and objectives, as well as other links in your module. I look forward to seeing your part 1 of your proposal, and I will talk to you all soon.